Hello there, friends, and welcome to this pick-a-card. This pick-a-card is actually specifically catering to finding out who your soulmate is, or potentially who you may marry or your next relationship. So the way that you will decide on that is by setting the intention now before picking the card piles that you see here. Set the intention of what you're asking for about the person you're going to marry, your next relationship, or your soulmate. So go ahead and you don't have to have a specific person in mind, just set that precedent. And then if you already know how pick-a-cards work, this is pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Also, before we get started, there's one more thing I want to tell you guys, and that is if any of the decks you see here today you like, please go ahead and head down below. I have affiliated links for all of my decks that I talk about or use. And if you purchase through there, it doesn't cost you anything extra to do so. It just gives me a little bit of a kickback and it helps me and the channel. So I would really appreciate it if you use those links, and go ahead and head to the timestamps down below once you've made your selection. If you're unsure of what pick-a-cards are or what they are like, let me go ahead and give you a little bit of an explanation. So if you are new to pick-a-cards, basically you want to set the intention of the kind of relationship you're asking about. And once you've done that, you want to pause this video and meditate on the cards. You can look at the timestamps down below and see if any of your lucky numbers correspond, and maybe that will be the pile for you. You can also repeat the numbers 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4 in your head and see which one calls out to you the most. There are so many ways to do this. Those are just a few that I recommend. Some people even like to listen to the reading all the way through, so pile number 1 through 4, and they will choose the one that they think corresponds to them the best. So it is 100% up to you. Go ahead and pause this video and then head to the timestamps down below. All right, my pile number 1s, if you guys chose pile number 1, it looks like the person that is your soulmate, marriage partner, or your next relationship is somebody who is a Pisces, potentially could be a Pisces sun, moon, rising, or I'm going to say Venus. So make sure if you are able to get their birthday deets, this is going to be one that you're going to want to actually pay very close attention to. They also may have a lot of 12th house energy in their chart. That's another thing that you could look for. The 12th house is the house of Pisces. So if you have somebody with a chart that has a lot of 12th house energy, you could also expect that your next partner potentially could be highly intuitive or an empath, because Piscean energy, they are naturally very intuitively gifted and empath, and they also tend to be very loving, compassionate people that want to root for the follies of man. So if there is something about someone else, like they are never going to be the people who are going to fault you for being human. So you're going to feel very comfortable with them. Now, a little bit more about them. We have the Empress. We have Judgment. Oops. And we also have the 5 of Wands. So I feel like the Empress here tells me that they are somebody that you could meet under the guise of a creative endeavor. So if you guys are people that are in school, you guys may get teamed up on a creative project. They also could be someone, this is going to be a little far-fetched, but for some of you it might be true. They might be somebody who is pregnant. If this is somebody that is your soulmate, maybe you guys already are like about to have a child together, but the relationship, you guys just aren't even really sure like what it is. They could actually be pregnant now. The Empress speaks a lot to childbearing and child rearing and the pregnancy or the birth. So that's a very real possibility. Also, with Judgment coming out, I feel like they are someone that has definitely had to work to rise up and speak to the people around them. They are somebody that others look to. You may even find that this person is extremely popular. Like a lot of people like them or are interested in them. And so maybe you're someone that thinks like you don't really have a chance because everybody kind of likes them. But I feel like this is obviously, if they're your next relationship, you have nothing to worry about in that department. And also, I feel like they are somebody that is definitely willing to fight for you if they have to. If you are someone that maybe you're someone that has a lot of suitors after you, or a lot of people that just like you or want to be with you, they are somebody that is willing to go out there. I mean, this is kind of funny, but the Five of Wands to me is very much a quote unquote dick measuring card. Like, they are someone that doesn't mind peacocking if they have to, if they don't mind strutting their stuff and putting themselves out there, which is really interesting to me that they would have Piscean energy, because I don't see Pisces as the type to really get out there and flaunt it and want to make such a grand gesture or expression of themselves or compete for your attention. But they are someone that I think is willing to go out and fight for you. So keep that in mind. Maybe that is going to be the deciding factor that gets you to want to pick them, is they are the ones who really want to go to bat for you. And a couple of cards that are going to describe your guys' relationship together. We have the High Priestess card, and we also have the Fool. So the High Priestess tells me that you guys may actually also have a spiritual connection, because the High Priestess is someone that the High Priestess is like the woman who sits between the veil of the realm beyond and our current realm. It's somebody with high intuition and psychic gift, which also I talked about a little bit with Pisces. And I feel like that you guys could have a spiritual connection. This is somebody that maybe you have met at church. Maybe you've met them in like a faith-based way. Your guys' relationship together, I feel like, is going to be exploring the intricacies of your faith and spirituality. This to me almost could even speak a little bit of Scorpio energy. Maybe that's you coming in if you are a Scorpio or have major Scorpio energy. I don't necessarily think that the High Priestess represents Scorpio in traditional tarot, but for some reason, as I'm reading this, that's what's being channeled through. So I do feel like there is potential that one of you is a Scorpio. And with this High Priestess, I feel like this love connection really could be that, like, when you think about even like a Venus Scorpio, love to them is like a spiritual experience. They want to give mind, body, and soul to their partner. So I feel like you guys definitely could have that. And with the Fool, I feel like this is going to be a relationship like one that you've never had, which, granted, that's a very like cliche thing to say. Like, of course, no two relationships are exactly the same, but I feel like this person might even be someone that you normally wouldn't be attracted to. And I say that because the Fool represents going on a fool's journey, going on a journey and going somewhere that you've never gone. So I do feel like this is a relationship that you've never really had before. It's somebody that you wouldn't normally be attracted to, maybe somebody you've never even really looked at that way. And ultimately, it's going to be a journey. I think this is also the Fool and the High Priestess here together tells me that it's also going to be a journey of self-exploration as well as exploring each other. So even if this is just your next relationship and this isn't a relationship that is like the forever for you, remember guys, this is general, so I'm going to give as much information as I can. But even if this isn't like the end all be all relationship for you, I do feel like this is going to be a major growth relationship. This could even trigger an awakening for you or them or both. We could find out that this is maybe even something very karmic because of that, because it opens you to the floodgates of a spiritual awakening. So that is all I have for you guys, pile number one. Thank you so very much for allowing me to peek into this for you guys. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at kozykale. And also I have a couple of podcasts. One of them is going to be returning next month, and the other one is going to be returning in January 2020. So make sure you check those out. And if you would like to book me for a personal tarot reading, the link is also down below for that. All the information down below, and I will catch you guys in a future video. Bye. All right, if you have chosen pile number two, the first card that describes your next relationship, your soulmate, potentially the person that you're going to marry, or just your next relationship, we have Venus. Now, Venus actually represents both Libra and Taurus. So this is somebody that probably has major Venus or excuse me, major Taurus or Libra energy in their chart. So if you have access to their star chart, to their birthday, make sure you look that over just to take a little peek and see. They could be a Taurus or Libra, sun, moon, rising, or Venus. Specifically look at their Venus placement because we drew the card of Venus. And something to note about that, if they are a Venus in Taurus or Libra, make sure you study that because Venus is actually how we need to be loved and how we show love. So if they are a Taurus Venus, you know what? I actually have a video coming out for you guys next month that will give you more information on Venus. So just keep your eyes peeled for that and you'll know more then. So a little bit more about them. We have the Four of Cups. We have the King of Cups. And we also have the Nine of Pentacles. So I do get the sense that maybe they have major Taurus energy because the Nine of Pentacles to me is Taurian energy. It is somebody that lives in the lap of luxury. They enjoy the finer things in life, which Libra does too. But the Nine of Pentacles is very earthbound, and that is an earth sign. Libra, on the other hand, is an air sign. So keep that in mind. They are someone that enjoys the finer things in life. They are somebody that potentially comes from a little bit of money or already makes a lot of money, and they maybe are just looking for someone to share that with. And I'm not talking about like a sugar daddy, sugar mama experience. I mean, it could be for some of you. I think this person really actually wants to make deeper emotional connections though. Like that's something that they haven't had. And I say that because the King of Cups is someone that represents somebody with emotional maturity that is ready for that next step. So for you guys, I think a lot of you, pile number 2, this could be somebody that you will actually marry because they are looking for someone to spread their luxuries with and share their life with. And maybe stuff that they have made, and they are emotionally mature and ready for it. The interesting thing though that I see here is we have the Four of Cups, and I feel like though they feel ready for the next relationship, I think they have maybe been a little bit too picky. Like I'm getting the sense that this is somebody who might be a little bit older. And they have been really picky in finding a mate. They've been very, very picky about who they will accept and take on because the Four of Cups is the card of apathy. This is the card of being bored. This is like sitting back. The universe keeps bringing them beautiful gifts and they keep saying, that one's not good enough. So I do feel like they are someone that maybe has tried different relationships in the past and they just haven't worked out and they've never been satisfied. But I think you are about to change that for them. So your relationship with them, some cards to describe. We have the Wheel of Fortune and we also have the Hermit. So I am going to say a few things about this Wheel of Fortune. Number 1, there's a really high potential that this will be a karmic relationship because the Wheel of Fortune specifically speaks on karma. And I know some of you guys probably really don't want to hear that picked this pile because nobody wants to have a karmic relationship. They're not necessarily fun. They kind of suck, but they are so necessary and you grow so much from them. On the other side, if it's not something that is karmic, it could be that you guys are going to be building a very fortuitous empire together because with this backup of the Nine of Pentacles already here, there's a lot of fortune that maybe already is there. But with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like expanding on that even more. So you guys potentially coming together are going to be like this super... Honestly, there's a chance that this person already has money and they maybe feel like that's why they haven't been able to be loved because they're always concerned somebody is coming after them for their money or wants to be with them for their money. But maybe you're already well off. And therefore, when you guys come together, you just have more abundance anyways. There's a possibility for that. The reason, though, I want to touch back on that karmic thing is with the Hermit. The Hermit is about isolation, but isolation in the pursuit of understanding the self better. So if this is something that is very karmically tied and this relationship teaches you something, it will spiritually grow you. And it's funny because pile number 1 had something kind of similar, but theirs was more about like building a spiritual foundation together, where yours is maybe more about learning more about yourself. If this ends up being something that's very karmic, on the other side of that, with the Hermits, I feel like what do I feel like? I feel like I'm getting this, like, this relationship isn't going to be one that's going to just like tie you down to the other person. You're not necessarily going to be anchored. So for those of you that have major like Aquarius or Sagittarius placements in your chart that don't really like to be tied down, this actually might be a really good relationship for you, because you guys will be allowed to be your own individuals, but you'll come together in really beautiful ways at the same time. Because to me, the Hermit really is about expressing your own individuality and finding your own individuality. So it's kind of one of two ways. Either it's going to teach you how to do that in a karmic way, or you guys are going to learn how to do that with each other, and there will be more balance achieved with it. So I'm sorry that that is like so vague, but there really are two answers coming at me right now. So that is all I have for you guys, pile number 2. Thank you so very much for listening. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to follow my podcast. Cozycast is coming back in the month of December, and we have Twin Flames Pod returning in January 2020. And if you would like to book me for a personal tarot reading, the information is down below. I will catch you guys in a future video. Bye. All right, pile number 3. If you guys chose pile number 3, the card that I see that first and foremost depicts your next relationship, your potential soulmate, or next marriage, or first marriage maybe, is Jupiter. So I actually really love seeing Jupiter here, because Jupiter actually represents, or I shouldn't say represents, I should say Jupiter actually rules over the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, it's funny to me that I'm pulling this in a relationship setting, because Sagittarians are very notorious for being very non-committal. I can't speak to true validity on that though, because my husband is a Sagittarius and we have been together for almost 12 years, committed heavily. So make sure you look at their Jupiter placement as well. Or not Jupiter, their Venus placement as well. But this could be somebody that has strong Sagittarius in their charts, in their sun, moon, rising, maybe their Venus. And so if you can get your hands on their birth information, do so. Jupiter is the planet of luck, fortune, wealth. And we are actually coming into Sagittarius season. If you guys are watching this the week that it goes live, Sagittarius season is actually starting this week. So this might be a key sign that you're going to meet this person or get together with them or have an interaction with them this week. A little bit more about them. I feel like they are a little bit of a dreamer. They also have the tendency to be maybe a little bit rough with their words. And they are someone that potentially lives a little bit. There's two messages with this 5. Either they are somebody that maybe does not have much, and so they live in this lack mentality, or I actually feel like for most of you guys, they are somebody that provides sanctuary, because the 5 of Pentacles is normally a poverty card, but because we have this poverty going on, you know, we see these 2 people that are out in the snow. They look really messed up. But if you look behind them, there's a church window. There is sanctuary. And I feel like with this 5 coming out, this person provides sanctuary to a lot of people, because Sagittarian energy is very positive and optimistic. Even if they get into this kind of headspace, they tend to be able to snap out of it very quickly. With the King of Swords, I feel like they are somebody who is potentially very diplomatic. They might be somebody who is a leader in some sort. It could even be that they are a leader of a congregation, of some kind of like spiritual congregation, for some of you. For others of you, there is definitely this like, I do want to say that they definitely could be a big dreamer, because Jupiter to me can be a big dreamer. The 2 of Wands is a card of like future planning. And the King of Swords, I mean, even though his feet are on the ground, his head still be up in those clouds. I'm just saying. So I do get the sense that maybe there's somebody who is a very big dreamer. But ultimately, I feel like they aren't necessarily looking for a relationship right now. So I feel like this is going to come on very sudden for both of you. And a little bit about your guys' relationship together. We have the World and we also have the Hierophant. So the World, this could be a lot of things. I feel like with the Two of Wands and the World coming out together, that's a really interesting, because I don't know if you guys know this, but on the Two of Wands, this guy actually has the World in his hands. And then we have the World coming out on top of it. So I feel like for you guys, you're actually going to be starting a new full cycle together, because life stages always work in cycles, and the World is actually the beginning and the ending of a cycle. So they might be coming to you at one of the most appropriate times as well. You guys may find that you will travel the world together. The World symbolizes travel. And the Hierophant I find really interesting because this is about the status quo. Usually the Hierophant can also speak about like Capricorn energy as well. Like you could be the Capricorn in this instance, or them. And it also speaks to tradition. I feel like there really is a strong pulse of like religion coming out, because we have Sanctuary back here. I really feel like they could be a leader of a congregation. The Hierophant to me is about spiritual tradition and also family tradition. And I feel like you guys are going to be very like, even if you're like free-spirited, it's like free spirit meets tradition in the middle. Like one of you brings either to the table and you have this really fun mix of like free spirit. I mean, Jupiter / Sagittarian energy is very free spirited. And when you bring Hierophant, that's like the grounded, solid, come back down to earth energy. So I feel like you two actually are very opposites attract in a lot of ways, but I feel like it's actually going to harmonize really beautifully. And like I said, I feel like some of you guys are going to be meeting this person like really soon, because we are coming into Sagittarius season, and Jupiter has actually been in its natal sign of Sagittarius this entire year, which is not necessarily common. That's like, I don't know how frequently it happens, but this whole year it's actually been in that placement. So I feel like there's like a lot of good luck coming your way in this as well. Like this might even be like perfect place, perfect time, like a fated thing. But that's all I have for you guys. Pile number 3. Thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at kozykale. I have 2 podcasts, one that is relaunching in December, one that is relaunching in January of 2020. I'm really excited to come back to both of those projects. Please make sure to check them out at the links down below. And if you would like to book a personal tarot reading with me, where I go much more in depth on these things, please feel free to check out the link down below and book me for a personal reading. Anyways, you guys, thank you so very much. I will see you again in a future video. Bye. All right, my pile number 4s. If you chose pile number 4, we have the first card representing your relationship. We have Capricorn. So you may find that this person is a Capricorn or has major Capricorn influence energy in their chart. So this would be Sun, Moon, Rising. And because we're talking about relationships, I would also check their Venus placement. Something to know about this person, we have the 7 of Cups, we have the Devil, and we also have the Ace of Cups. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't really like seeing the Devil. The Devil usually speaks to addiction. So this could be somebody that has addictions, whether it be to drugs, gambling. It can speak to really serious addictions. It can speak to food addiction. It can speak to, basically the premise behind the Devil card is that these two people are chained. They feel like they're stuck there, but in reality, the chains are really loose and they could slip out if they wanted to. So to me, it's like being very codependent on, you guys also could be starting a very codependent relationship. So be really weary of that. The Devil is not necessarily a card I would want to see pop out in a relationship reading, but this describes them. So it also could be, if I can be very blunt here, it also could be that they bring out a darker aspect in you. They potentially bring out a more sexy side of you, if you catch my drift. The Devil definitely does talk about that. The Ace of Cups to me talks about them being maybe a little bit of a hopeless romantic, not necessarily in the way that like the Page of Cups or even like the Knight of Cups could be, but it's definitely like aces always talk, or yeah, I said ace, right? Yeah. The aces always talk about a gift from the universe. So I do feel like there is like, this could be like a really big turning point in their life and in your life. It is a gift. Your relationship will be a gift. And with the Seven of Cups, it's kind of like this gift is what you make of it. So this could be one of the most amazing relationships you've ever had. And this could also be one of the worst relationships you've ever had. It's about your ability to kind of sift through the different things that come your way. And a couple of cards that resemble your guys' relationship together. We have the Sun and the Devil. Oh my God. I've never had that happen. You got a double hit of the Devil. That actually concerns me a little bit. So I feel like one of you guys wants to improve the other person. One of you guys wants to, like, thinks you can change the other person. One of you represents the Sun and is honestly like a raging ball of positivity, of optimism, wants to change things, wants to, thinks that you can like rub off on them basically and like be like a better, higher influencer, and the other person brings out the worst in you. I actually don't see this as an excellent relationship. I'm not going to lie to you. So please be cautious of the people that you are letting infiltrate your like aura and your energy. Be like very aware, because I don't think this is a connection I would necessarily want to have with someone if it's on that level. Just be very cautious of any red flags that come out. The Devil can also talk about a very codependent relationship. And it also could be that they have a lot of strong addictions and like both of you are like trying to influence the other person and it's just a mess. Actually, for you guys, I almost want to pull a couple more cards. I didn't do this for anybody else's reading, but I think for this pile, I feel like you guys need it. So let me grab my deck really quick. I'm going to draw like just like a couple more cards to clarify this, because I don't know. It's feeling kind of like a hot mess, if I'm honest with you. So I'm just going to draw a couple more. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. So the Ace to me, that is like, again, it's another opportunity. I feel like there's so much opportunity in this relationship for it to be good, but there's also the Four of Pentacles, which to me is the selfish card. So I feel like one of you has really positive, pure intentions and the other person just does not. So please be careful out there, you guys. Please, please, please. Don't let somebody else use you. Don't be a doormat for somebody else. Don't let somebody else play out their trauma on you. I feel like that is a very real thing that we don't talk about enough in the world. So please, please, please be careful with your energy. Be careful with yourselves. I'm sorry that I'm not going to be that person. I feel like there are a lot of tarot card readers that will just tell you like all the fluffy, happy things. And I'm going to be very blunt. If you chose this pile, this is not a happy reading. I would not look forward to this. So just please be careful. I feel like this is a warning for you guys. Please, please, please be careful. Don't let, like, that's the thing with the Devil is usually it's very charming, very handsome, devilishly handsome, if you will say, or very sexy. And it looks very appealing on the outside. And then you see it for what it is on the inside and it's not good. So please, you guys, trust your intuition, trust your gut feelings, look for the signs, be really careful, protect yourselves. Because to be honest, I feel like this is a relationship that really could be avoided if you wanted to. So anyways, you guys, thank you so very much for watching. Please do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Please do not forget to check out my podcasts. I have two, actually one returning the month of December, the other returning in January 2020. And also, if you would like to book a personal tarot reading with me, links are all down below for that. And I will see you guys in a future reading. Bye.